Well, got something completely different today. Got a solar light bird. It's really cool looking. It's made out of glass. It's very neat when it's lit up. It's very nice when it's lit up. It glows very beautifully. It's very cool. Solar panels are built into this. There's a light. There's a photosensitive photo sensor here. I thought it would just be, lack of light onto the solar panels would turn it on, but there's a light right here, I guess. I think the problem is it got turned off, and now it won't turn back on. There's a switch right here. I don't know if the freaking light's gonna. There's a switch right here that won't. It just will not move. I haven't tried sticking anything down in there and pushing lower on the switch. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, it's that switch. This switch is... There. It comes on. Let's turn off the light. There, it's on. It's got a pretty cool glow. I think I'm going to take it apart and look at that switch. I could spray some cleaner in there, but I want to see what's going on with that switch. Why is it getting jammed up? I'm hoping the switch is not part of a circuit board, but if it is, good, it turns off with the light. If it is part of a circuit board, maybe we could bypass it somehow with, maybe a wire, or maybe the point where it connects to the board is close enough we can make a solder joint. The only reason I could see this switch is just to control the LED. It shouldn't. I think when these things are off, they still charge the battery internally. We'll get it apart here real quick. Take a look at it. I need to get this out of here. I don't want that plugged in there. It's not connected to anything right now. I had this still plugged in from when I was working on a radio. Let's get the little screwdriver out. I'm pretty sure it's going to take this. I'm sure it's going to take this little kit. It's 3 screws, it looks like. Yep, that's the one. There's my Huckleberry. Let's get the kit out of the way. Put that back over there. We'll get these 3 screws out. I know she loves this light. She just gets a kick out of this solar light. So I'm going to fix it. Make it work for her. I thought maybe there might have been something wrong with the battery the first time I looked at it. You know what? That is the wrong screwdriver for that, isn't it? Oh well. All right. Oh yeah, switch is part of a board. Let's see if we can lay this up here on the bench. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you can see it there. I don't want this thing falling. Come on. Yeah, it looks like the switch is right here underneath. So looks like these 3 contact points right here. These 3 solder joints of the switch. And I have it in the on position right now. So let's get that board out and take a look at that switch real quick. I don't think this is going to be very hard to pull. It looks pretty simple. You know, I'm going to get a different bit for this. I don't like that bit. I think that one's better. Oh, much better. Much, much better. More better. Okay, that's a different screw than the cover, or is it the same? Same screw as the 3 that came out to hold it together, but I'm going to keep them separated anyway. Let's take a look at this switch. Oh yeah, looks like water may have gotten in here too. There's a little, looks like rust on that switch body there. I got my big dumb hand in the way. I don't know if that's going to show up on there or not. Yeah, you can kind of see the rust around the switch itself. Yeah, it just does not want to move very nice. Boy, it ain't going to be long before that's screwed up there too, huh? Before that wire rots out, huh? These are kind of expensive too. You know, I think this was like 25 or 30 bucks. And I think it's 3 years old, and she takes them in the wintertime. She only puts them out after Mother's Day, and I'm not sure when she puts them in. When she takes them in, I don't remember, but it's before the rain really starts coming in the wintertime here in Washington, Western Washington. Yeah, I'm not so much as a component identification guy, but there isn't a whole lot there. There's a diode. Looks like a small resistor, a bigger resistor, and some sort of... Well, there's 4 pins on that. I'm not sure what that is. Transistor generally has 3, so I'm not sure. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I guess we could put the voltmeter on it. But I think when it's in the on position, it's the LED's on and charging is connected to the battery. And I think when it's off, it turns the LED off and you have charging. So I don't think it's going to matter if we just put a big booger of solder in between. Because I'm sure right now when it's slid this way, we've got contact between these two. And when it's slid in the off position, we have contact between these two. So I'm assuming this is always going to be battery voltage. This is going to be output to the photo sensor. And then the photo sensor is going to come back and turn the LED on. And then when we're in the other position, it's probably just charges the battery. Because I know these things charge when the battery's off. When the switch is off, I mean. I know these charge when the switch is off. So I'm just going to put a big booger of solder on there. Connect those two contacts. So if she wants to turn it on, I don't see it hurting to have it on the whole time it's in storage over the winter. I don't think it's going to hurt it. They should have waterproofed this better, but with it being on the bottom, the water's, it's probably temperature condensation that's getting in here and messing with this. Some sort of condensation problem, I would assume. I mean, even if I clean the switch contacts, it's going to eventually screw up like this again. It's going to happen again. I don't think there's any way of stopping it. I don't know. Replacing this probably doesn't seem like that big. I'm gonna make a solder bridge in between those two contacts, and we'll see if it works. I'm sure it's going to. I could put the voltmeter on those contacts and see what happens when you flip the switch and such, but what else can it do? It isn't like it's a multi-function switch, right? It turns the light on, turns the LED on, so it sends power to the photocell, and then the photocell comes back and turns the transistor on to, maybe that's a special kind of transistor, so it controls the charging to the battery so it doesn't overcharge the battery. That could be possible. I don't know what you would call that. I'm not an electronic engineer, and I don't play one on television. I pretend to repair stuff to the best of my abilities. So I think I'll put the screws back in it and get the soldering iron on. When I get this back together and get the soldering done, I'll come back and show you what I've done. Well, before I soldered it, I wanted to make sure it was working. Make sure I didn't screw up any of these wires by pulling on them. I got looking at this. It wouldn't come on. And then I moved the battery just a little bit and it came on. And then I let go of the battery and it went off. So there was something wrong with the battery contacts. And they look nice and shiny. But I see a little something right here on the tip of the positive. I don't know if that's going to show up in the camera. There's a little something there. I haven't rubbed it yet. Yeah, there is a little something there. I know it don't take much with these things if they don't make contact. I know it don't take a whole lot. And I don't want to sand this. And I just don't think that would... I'm just going to rub it on my pants real quick. Yeah, that shined it up real nice. Do the same thing to the negative side of the battery. Now these are 1.2 volt. They're not 1.5. They're 1.2 volt. 300 milliamp. NiCad. So if you ever need to replace one of these batteries, you know what to get. 1.2 volt, 300 milliamp. They make a bunch of different ones of these. 1.3. I looked online before trying to get those. They sell them on Amazon by the gross. Just want to make sure we ain't got no corrosion issues going on here. Let's put this back in here. No, go under the wires. Now do what I tell you. Every time now. Nope. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Is it gonna turn off now? It's hard to get enough light to turn it off. You have to bring it up pretty close. Okay, so now I will solder it. It's working good every time now. I will put some solder in it. We'll put a big solder bridge between those two contacts and we'll come back and see how it works. Well, that didn't take very long, just a couple of seconds. And I've got the solder bridge right there. Solder bridge is in place. I'll put the 3 screws back in it here real quick. Just make sure we don't crush any of the wires when we put the cover back on. No wires being crushed. Just got to look in here real close. I'm worried about that black one on the outside edge. Why aren't you going down? What is your problem? What is your main malfunction? Love that movie. Hadn't seen it in a very long time. There it is. She's all back together. Now before I put the screws in it, it drives me nuts that I can't. There, I'm putting my finger on and off of the sensor. So it's working consistently. Okay, let's put the screws in it. Let's make this so you can see it a little bit better. So the magnetic screwdriver kind of holds onto the screw. Just be very careful with it. Okay, back it off a little bit. Just in case I got to move it around a little bit. Another screw. Back that off just a little bit. So you can repair the cheap Chinese crap. I mean, it's a bodge fix, but it's a fix. It works, right? That's the end result. The light's on in the yard, and she's happy when she goes out in the evening and sees all the little lights are on. So moving my finger on and off of it. Battery's going dead. It hasn't worked for a while. It's been sitting inside. I haven't gotten to it. I should have worked on it 4 or 5 days ago, but I just completely forgot all about it. So I will go put it outside in the sun. It's not going to get much sun today, but I will get it outside in the sun tomorrow all day, and then when it comes on in the evening, we'll see how bright it is. If we have to replace the battery, we have to replace the battery. It's not that big a deal. But this is very cool looking when it's fully lit up at night. This red just glows. It's pretty cool. I'm happy it's working for her. Thought I'd get a look at this solar bird light in the dark. Well, before it gets too dark, so it just looks like a red glow. It does look very nice when it's on. And the further back you get, it just looks like a red glowing bird. So there it is, fixed. thanks for watching, and leave a comment down below.